So good morning students. Today we are discussing about 10th class biology chapter transportation. Already previous we discussed circulatory system in which heart and its structure and internal structure and external structure. Now we are discussing about it is the accessory system of circulatory system, and it is also termed as circulatory system. It is the part of circulatory system. And lymphatic system, it consists mainly three parts. Lymphatic system consists three parts. Lymphatic system consists three parts. Number one is lymph fluid, and number two is lymph glands. Number three, lymph vessels. So here once you have glands, the lymphatic system consists how many parts? Three parts. How many parts? Three parts. Number one, lymph fluid. Number two, lymph gland. Number three, lymph vessels. So lymphatic system consists how many parts? Lymph fluid, lymph gland, lymph vessels. So now let us take a detailed study of lymphatic system. So whenever you observe that whenever we sit or sat in buses, and when we do long journey, and wherever in school, whenever in colleges, whenever and sit prolonged time. So what happens, mainly older people, and when they sit prolonged time, what happens, the fluid which remain in the muscles, which not circulate to the upward direction, means below the knee, from foot to knee part, the leg will be swell because of accumulation of a fluid in the blood vessels and tissues and cells. So because of accumulation of this fluid, what happens, leg will be swell. So mainly we can see this swelling of legs in older people. So this swelling of legs when we sit prolonged time by accumulation of tissue fluid is called edema. Is called edema. So it is very important in examination level. Edema means swelling of legs due to accumulation of lymph in the tissues, in the vessels. So is called edema. So now there is a question, why do our legs swell? So due to accumulation of body fluids. So mainly here in this system, let us take so as blood flows through the blood capillaries, some of the amount fluids, certain solid materials are constantly flowing out of them at different junctions. So here what happens, while generally flowing the materials in through the blood vessels, some of the materials should come out and these materials remain in the junctions. So whatever contents which are carried out by the blood vessels, they may circulate in the blood vessels. It is pushed by the heart. So to supply nutrients to the cells, so the liquid portion of the blood with nutrients flows out of the capillaries. This is called tissue fluid. So the liquid portion of the blood with nutrients flows out of the capillaries. This is called tissue fluid. So it is very, very important. What is tissue fluid means? The fluid which is consists of nutrients and flows out of the capillaries is called tissue fluid. So this tissue fluid which is present in the tissues should be transported into the blood vessels again. So whatever the tissue fluid which is present, which is carried out by the blood vessels once again. So some of the portion, here you have to keep in your mind, very, very important sentence. Some of the portion of the tissue fluid enters into the veins, which in turns forms the veins which carry blood to the heart. So what about the remaining tissue fluid? So some of the tissue fluid is remaining in the tissues, which is not transported to the heart. To transport the remaining fluid into the main bloodstream, we need a separate system. It is called lymphatic system. So simply we can say whatever remaining tissue fluid which is present in the different parts, it must be supplied to the into the blood vessels, and through which finally it should be arrived cells and tissues. But some of the materials are unable to reach to the cells and tissues. So to reach these remaining tissue fluids, now what is the lymphatic system? What is the functions of lymphatic system means? Whatever tissue fluids remain in the blood vessels which is not arrived to the or reach to the cells. So this lymphatic system should help to reach the tissue fluid which contain nutrients into the cells. So it acts as a medium of transport between mainstream and cells. So from the mainstream, this tissue fluid is carried to the cells by the lymphatic system. Or we can say like this: wherever the materials which is stay and remaining, the tissue fluid which is remain in some of the parts, it must be reached to the cells. So to carry towards the cells and tissues, lymphatic system should play major role. So here now let us in Latin lymph means water. So this is very important here. Latin, the lymph means water. So lymph is the vital link between blood and tissues by which essential substances pass from blood to cells and excretory products from cells to blood. So it acts as a medium of transport. This is very important here, very important. And this, so nothing but the lymphatic system is nothing but which is accessory system to the circulatory system, which help whatever tissue fluids remain in the some of the parts which carry the from between blood and tissues, by which essential substance pass from blood to cells and excretory products from cell to blood. So this is you have to remember, blood to cells and essential material, waste materials from cells to blood. In this way it acts as a medium of transport to the circulatory system. So the lymphatic system is parallel system to venous system. The lymphatic system is the parallel system to the venous system, which collects tissue fluid from tissues and transport it to the venous system. And so blood is a substance which contains solid and liquid particles. So now the lymph, it is very important. Lymph definition is there. Lymph is the substances that contains blood without solid particles, which means the lymph and blood. What is the main differences between lymph and blood? So in lymph only tissue fluid and nutrients are present, but whereas in the blood there will be a liquid part and solid part like RBC, WBC and blood platelets are present. So this is the major difference between lymph and blood. So in blood cells are present, liquid part and like plasma serum is present, but whereas in lymph only fluid part only present without blood cells. So the liquid portion after formation of blood is, so we know that already we studied in previous, serum, which is obtained from after clotting of blood. So for example, whenever we collect the blood, after clotting that blood, on that surface we can see that a yellow colored fluid is called serum. So serum we obtain after clotting of the blood. Another part is there, plasma. It is the liquid part of the blood which obtained before clotting of the blood. So when the blood is live, when the blood is liquid, then we obtain the plasma. So what is the major differences between plasma and serum? Plasma is intercellular fluid which is generally we can see that in the blood, and serum we can obtain after clotting of the blood. So finally the lymphatic system, let us what is the main role of lymphatic system? It is the link between blood and tissues to transport of the materials which helps to the whatever remaining nutrients are present in some of the regions, it transport into the cells, so that it act as a medium of transport, and whatever excretory materials it may collect